Hello there. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, this is my quarterly check-in session for young professionals in my circle. So what we usually do is at the end of every quarter, I just come on here and share some of my thoughts, some of my lessons. I'm not here to maybe like aspire to perspire or maybe encourage anybody to or share any deep lessons. This is just me just sharing my experiences and hoping that they resonate with you. And if you have one or two lessons that you feel like you can learn from them, by all means please go ahead to learn from them. So this check-in session is actually for the um quarter ended December 2024, so December 31 2024. So that is, this check-in session covers October 1 2024 to December 1 2024. And so if I haven't told you, this is to wish you a very, very happy new year. 2024 was great. We did so much together. So let's do even better in 2025. So happy new year. I wish you all the best. But let me delve right into the check-in session. I'm just here to just, check in. Really, it's not that, I won't say it's not that deep, but it is deep, but you know what I mean. So I mean, three very just my check-in sessions will just be three things, three very important things, like here, just 3 points, three talking points, and I will put my thoughts nicely together and wrap my thoughts nicely together and put a bow on it. And I picked that up from Madam Nigerian, by the way. So right. So the first thing is, grateful for year 2024. And for those that are on my WhatsApp channel, you already know that I used to work in a firm where we didn't used to close for the year. But for the first time since the 2016, when I actually joined the labor market, I actually closed for the year, and that was so amazing. It was good, like it was really, really good. Obviously I was working and just checking in my emails and responding to some things. A few sort of urgent stuff, a few deadlines for 31st of December, a few deadlines for 31st of December 2024, but obviously the pressure to work wasn't as much as you have to check in your emails, you have to be at your desk, all those sort of things. So it was good. It was very, very good to rest. As you can see, I'm well rested. Yeah. So that was really good. So it was a very nice way to end the year, and the stress of the year was really good for me, especially considering the fact that there was kind of like a high tension transaction I was involved in, like late November, early December, that there was a weekend I was asking myself, like, what's going on? What's going on? Why am I in this? How did I find myself? How did I get here? But it was really good. And then for the first time in my career, I had to do appraisals for my supervisees, so the associates that I supervised their work. So I had to kind of there was an appraisal, there was the form to fill. We had like sitting sessions, and I give feedback and sort of fill the forms that HR gave us. HR is human resource, by the way. So it sounded so, it's an appraisal, it's not that serious. You've done work, I give feedback on your work. It is what it is. If your work has been good, if it hasn't been good, I'll point out the areas that you need to work on. But apparently some of my supervisors were concerned, because I was quite formal. We laugh, we talk, we talk in the office and everything, but a few of my supervisors were a little bit concerned, because I followed the rules. I was like, let's sit down, let's talk. What do you think you can do differently? What are your goals? What are your plans? How can I help you? Obviously I'm just a person, there's the organization as a whole, but how do we align and all that. That was what was in the form that we're feeling. And I spoke through the process based on the email guidance we had been given. But a few of the supervisors felt that I was being fair, but compared to their cohorts, maybe they had a more informal relationship with their supervisors, they may not be fairly judged. So I was a little bit worried that in following the rules, I was going to put them at a disadvantage, right? So it was a good learning point for me, because I haven't had to do an appraisal in this sort of way before. And so I had to, I felt like I was being fair, I felt like I was giving feedback, but I did had to go back. I actually had to go back. Sorry about that. I had to go back to kind of look at the appraisal again when I had that, when I realized that there was that sentiment of, oh, I know my supervisor is trying to be fair, but if I'm compared with, if I put her ratings, alongside with my cohorts, whose supervisors may not, because they have like like an informal relationship, they may be able to get away with like better appraisals, not necessarily based on actual feedback, but because that's the relationship that they have. I mean, I don't know where they got the consent from, because in the HR communication they had advice that we had to watch out for biases and things like that could affect appraisals, that could affect us giving accurate appraisals, because there was a prior relationship and stuff. But that was a really really huge concern for me. And so the appraisal, I mean, I think it was just as straightforward as, oh, let's just do this appraisal and get it over with. But apparently there are all those other considerations. I want to be sure by the time I'm done with the appraisals, my supervisors don't feel like they are going to get the shorter end of the stick. So it was a good lesson for me. And I need to be careful, because I felt like, oh my god, this feedback could literally affect maybe bonus appraisal, and any, like, it could affect performance reviews and anything, any benefits or anything related to performances. So I was a little bit like, trusting God for guidance. I was mindful that I was going to take decisions that could affect people's professional trajectory, possibly. And I mean, I get that partners could eventually overrule whatever appraisal. I'm sure there are systems kind of double check and ensure that somebody is not doing too much, somebody's not making a mistake. But I just had that consciousness, and it was good to have that consciousness as well. So finally, something big happened in the last quarter of 2024. If you didn't know, 2024, November 30, 2016, I was called to the Nigerian bar. So that meant that November 30, 2024, I was going to be my 8th year anniversary as a lawyer, of the Nigerian bar. So I always had I started this year thinking, for my 8th, for this call to bar anniversary, I was going to publish a handbook and a guide. I was going to publish some sort of like really small, like condensed high summary of some principles and statutory position and like market practice in one or two areas of law that I have my core specializations in, which I wasn't able to do. So what I did eventually on LinkedIn was to just announce and say that these handbooks will be ready by the first quarter of 2025. So the clock is ticking for me. In fact, I had to I announced to force my hand, because I was just dilly-dallying. And to be fair, it's not my fault. There's been a lot of things going on, in fact, this quarter I learned to tell myself, oh, I'm not going through a lot. I'm right in the center of God's will for my life. Because it was just like, I just found myself always saying, I'm going through a lot, but I'm not going through a lot. I'm right in the center of God's will for my life. So yes, so I have started, the clock is ticking. I have started, trying to get my handbook and my guide ready. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? How am I going to do it? But I trust God, and I trust that I'll be able to pull it off by the grace of God. I know you're like, that's what people say when they say the grace of God, they're about to be shady. No. I really believe in the grace of God. I really So yeah, that is all of it for me. That's all of it for me for check-in session. One more thing, I promised 2 quarters ago. So the quarter ending September 2024, I had promised that I was going to start doing these videos in French and in English, but I'm not sure how. I'm not really sure I'm going to pull that off. And I really apologize, but I'm going to do something now where I'm going to just, I don't know. I'm not a liar, I promise you, but I'm shy, I guess. But thank you so much for staying through with me. That's all. That's really all. So just kind of recap. The last quarter of 2024 was great. I didn't really have, because I changed jobs. So in terms of career, I was just like, let's just see how this year goes. I wasn't really doing too much. The major career goal that I had was to get my handbook and my guides ready, but I wasn't able to do that. But I'm not even worried at all. I just feel like we go again. I don't even really think as maybe like, oh, this is a new year. I just feel like there was just a break. Like went on holidays and I'm back, so back to regular programming. So yeah, so just to check in. Very grateful to God for rest. This year was a lot. Things got really intense in November, but December, having to close for the year was just a very good way to relax. I'm so grateful to God for that. Appraisals, first time doing appraisals for people, and I was, I'm in awe that I could literally just shape in somebody's career and professional trajectory. So I'm not taking that for granted at all. I do not take it for granted at all. And finally, my course anniversary, November 30th. Clock is ticking, so you can leave, just encourage me in any way you can. If you're on LinkedIn, if you, even in YouTube, in the comment section, please encourage me so that I can get to work, so that I can have my handbooks and my guides ready. So just for the handbook is a secure lender's guide to secure financing in Nigeria, and then there's something about like an overview of the Nigeria capital markets, but it's just high level summaries of like principles and of course market practices. There are more details in the book anyway, so you should definitely check it out. All right, so thank you so much. That's all of it from me. I love you guys. I love you. Thank you for all the support. I wouldn't have made it through 2024 without you. Thank you for the support on the channel. Thank you for the support on LinkedIn. Thank you for the support on YouTube. Very grateful. Subscribe if you're just watching and you've not subscribed. Share my page with any other young professional. Like I said, let's grow together. Let's learn from each other. I'm not trying to prescribe anything. I'm just openly sharing my journey and hoping that one or two people can also learn one or two things as well from my journey, and just basically know that you're not alone. So thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Thank you for you know how we do it. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine fois. Au revoir.